Be talking to Lieutenant Governor Tammy Miller, who just announced this past week that she's going to be running for governor. She's had some time in the governor's office in various forms, but we're excited to have her tell you, the viewers of Open Range, what she has on her mind as she makes her run for governor. So, Lieutenant Governor Tammy Miller, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you, Gary. It's my pleasure to be here.
So I always like the Open Range viewers to get to know the guest. And a lot of people know you, a lot don't. So tell us a little bit about who Tammy Miller is.
Absolutely. Well, I have a story like probably many people in North Dakota. Grew up right outside of Brockett, North Dakota. The population there today is 34. It was probably twice that when I was growing up. Went to elementary school there and then to Lakota for high school. My parents had a store called Miller Shopping Center on the Prairie. And as teenagers, we all worked at the store. There we learned really great ethics, values, working hard, customer service, and giving back to the community. At the store, as the daughter of the owner, got to do some of the jobs that weren't so glamorous, including cleaning toilets, stocking shelves, those types of things. And Gary, our store was out kind of in the middle of nowhere outside of Brockett. Thieves knew law enforcement was a bit of a distance away, so we were often robbed. When that happened, the alarm would go off at our house. We would grab our shotguns, jump in the car, go to the store, and protect our property until the county sheriff came. So that's kind of what we did growing up as teenagers, defending our property and helping out at the store. After graduating high school, went on to college, became a CPA, started my professional career in public accounting, which was a great background, really getting a good understanding for business overall. Then I went on to work for one of my clients, a relatively small company at the time, Border States Electric. Some folks may know the company around the state. So I started at Border States as the accounting manager. And for those who don't know Border States is a supplier of electrical goods. So when you think about all of the equipment that utilities use, anything in your home or business that's electrical that could be installed by a contractor, or products that are manufactured, they might include electrical products. We sold all of that at Border States. So grew up with the company and ended up being the CEO after 15 years with the company, and then served as CEO for 14 years. During that time, we had significant growth, but through all that, we retained our corporate headquarters in North Dakota. Very proud to say that Border States is headquartered in North Dakota, has over 100 locations throughout the United States, and has thousands of employee owners. I mean, it's a great model. The company is 100% employee owned through the ESOP. So that was my baby for many years. Worked very hard to have a good succession plan, had a great team in place, and retired on March 31st of 2020. Next day, joined Governor Burgum in the governor's office here in Bismarck, worked as the chief operating officer for a couple of years. And then when Lieutenant Governor Sanford decided to return to the private sector, Governor Burgum asked me to step in and become the lieutenant governor. I was sworn in on January 3rd of 2023, and here we are today. Very proud to have been part of the team with the governor. Did a lot of great work to cut red tape, to reduce income tax, to grow the economy. We have great momentum going, and I have announced that I'm running for governor because I want to be part of keeping this momentum going and take our state to the next level.
Well, you know, I think what's interesting is I was worried for you because I've been around the legislature a lot, and when you took the office that day, and I literally had to be president of the Senate. I mean, all that parliamentary procedures and the haranguing going on because you come from the private sector where a CEO, you give them marching orders, even though they're all part of the team. At the end of the day, the buck stops with you. Yeah. And so how did you find that experience of being president presiding over all those legislators?
Oh, I loved it. So in my old life, corporate governance was something that was really interesting for me. Had a lot of experience leading the board at Border States. I was the board chair there for 14 years, and then I was on a lot of other boards. So it was running the Senate was like running a big board. And then it's so great because we have all the video captured from prior sessions, and those 2 weeks between Christmas and the start of the legislative session, I watched a lot of videos from the prior legislative sessions to make sure that I was well prepared for wrapping that gavel the first time on January 3rd.
So as you move from the private sector, of course, you've been with the governor, Governor Burgum, for the last 4 years, right? As you were, what were your chief
operating officer
for the governor?
Yes.
And that's kind of a new business title. I mean, a lot of North Dakotans would know chief of staff or that kind of
Right.
stuff. Walk us through what that title really meant. I mean, we know of it in the corporate structure, but I mean, I think that's good policy to bring corporate governance to the public sector sometimes because it gets so inefficient. Talk to us a little bit what that means and how you would see that.
And I'm glad you mentioned the word inefficient because that's exactly what we were trying to get rid of. So as the chief operating officer, I worked very closely with all of the cabinet agencies. So DOT, Highway Patrol, Health and Human Services, financial institutions, Game and Fish, Park and Rec, go down the list. So our goal really was to help those agencies work as one versus as siloed agencies so we could reduce costs, reduce red tape, and improve the experience for citizens who are interacting with our state agencies.
So you're got a primary that you'll be in June. What do you see your challenges of getting out with the people over the next few months to win the support to be the nominee in November?
Yeah, I think the biggest challenge is time. We just want to get around the state and meet as many folks in North Dakota as we can. We got a good start this weekend. We met with over 20 mayors and heard what was on their minds, what we can be doing differently, better to continue to grow the state of North Dakota.
And so when you think of applying business practices to the state, and we see what's going on in the energy industry and all of that stuff, what can we do to promote that to help North Dakota grow rather than a bureaucracy growing, but grow it for all the people?
Well, it gets back to innovation versus regulation. Let's let the people and the businesses create the solution versus government dictating and putting on overburdensome regulation. I mean, we're seeing that coming out of the Biden administration right now. We have so many regulations that if we don't have a change in the White House, this election cycle, our oil, energy, and agricultural industries could be eliminated. And it's also trickling down even into the banking industry. So we have to stop this burdensome regulation.
So we've been talking to Tammy Miller, Lieutenant Governor of North Dakota, who's announced her candidacy for governor. Stay tuned. We'll be right back with more with Tammy.